Today I'm going to talk about the game Ancient Knowledge and share with you 5 things I like about it and 2 things I don't like. Thank you for joining me here at Tantrum House Studio D. I'm Kevin Delp. Ancient Knowledge is a competitive engine building card game for 2 to 4 players, and it takes about 60 minutes to play. It's designed by Remy Matthew, it's published by Iello, and they sent us this copy to review. The game comes with game boards, cards, and tokens. Here's a super quick overview of the game. On your turn, you're going to go through 3 phases. The action phase, where you take 2 actions. The timeline phase, where you're going to activate certain cards that are going to give you benefits. And then the decline phase, where you slide your monuments to the left. Now, once a player has at least 14 cards in their past, then the end of the game is triggered. And of course, like most of these types of games, you're going to count up your points to see who wins. Okay, like I said, I'm not doing a normal type of video here. There are a lot of videos out on this game that you can learn how to play or a general review. In this video, I want to give you 2 dislikes and 5 things that I like. Let me talk about the 2 things I don't like, and then we'll get into the likes. All right, number 1 dislike is that there is like a take that element to the cards in the deck. I know that this is a way to have interaction between players, but I personally don't like being mean to players around the table. Some affect all the players, and some can just affect one. Now, this may not be a dislike for you, but it was for me. The other dislike is the card symmetry, cards between all the different cards. Sometimes you get cards that work really well for your engine, and sometimes not. I know that this can be a problem when a game is primarily focused on cards. One thought, maybe to fix this, is to divide the decks up into cards that are like foundational to support the game, and then another deck that would be like ancillary cards that would connect to those foundation cards. Now, and especially in an engine building game, I've seen some awesome combos, and sometimes you just don't get the card you want. Now, this could be a challenge that people really like to make the cards you get work together as best as possible. Now, before we get into my 5 likes, I do have one sort of intermediary category that didn't fit into my likes or dislikes. I'll call it my unsure category. There are builder cards and technology cards in the game. The builder cards are the ones in your hand, and the technology cards are the ones that are displayed out in the middle of the table. What I'm unsure about is, do the technology cards distract from the gameplay, or do they help? You're really focused on how to build the engine from the cards in your hand that you're placing in your play area. But then those technology cards, they're really important because you get some end game points from some of them, and some give you in-game benefits. They are smaller, so it isn't always the easiest to read all the 12 that are out there that are on the middle of the table. If you've played this game, let me know what you think in the comments all about this. Do you think it's integral to the game, or do you feel like that was just an ancillary part? I really would like to know. All right, moving to the 5 likes. I personally like racing type games, and this game sort of has that feel to it with the 14 card end game trigger. I'm trying to figure out how to get those cards out that are going to work best together and get a lot of them out. Usually, you're going to get a majority of your points from those cards that are in the past, so having more of them out than other players is really going to help your score out a lot. All right, number 2. Number 2 is the way cards get into the past. The cards above your board are moved 1 space to the left, and eventually are going to go into the past. There is like this tension in the progression of them continuing to move, because these cards usually have negative point tokens on them that you're trying to remove before they get into the past. And I really like that in the game. Which actually brings me to number 3, the theme. I think that progression is thematic. Ancient Knowledge, what the game's all about with these monuments that are like sort of getting older and older and going into like forgotten past. And just personally, I like all the historic monuments. that you're going to see during the game. It keeps me engaged like on another level, which I really appreciate. All right, number 4. The fourth thing that I like is the engine building aspect of the game. I like how cards are working together and activating bonuses on your cards that can do like a lot of cool things. Do my cards want a lot of the same color? Or are they looking for different colors? Maybe this really high point card is going to help with my score, but there might be too much of a downside to it. I like figuring that out and how cards are working together. I appreciate that in the game. All right, number 5 and the last that I have for Ancient Knowledge is like the simplicity of the gameplay. I've taught this a number of times now. People have easily picked up the concept, and we got to play the game super quick, like get into the game. At its core, you're playing a card from your hand, paying the cost and putting it in the correct spot above your board, and following the path with those 3 phases to make sure you activate the right cards at the right time. It really just all makes sense, and I really, really like games that do that. So that's my take on Ancient Knowledge from Iello. Thanks so much for watching, and I would love for you to like this video and comment below. It really does help out the channel. Did you like that this video was sort of a different kind of format with the likes and the dislikes than our other normal review videos or not? Let me know.